of the key points of the debate tonight was around another policy, and it was the women's right to choose. The topic of abortion.
Oh,
Uh,
can we bring our other guest
yeah, we're
on?
gonna bring them. I want to get both their takes, obviously, because there's gonna be two different stances here. Obviously, as a woman, we saw former President Trump have false claims about Democrats wanting the execution of babies after birth, which I mean, no state is that allowed. Then he also talked about being a leader in IVF. Uh, Vice President Harris talked about her support for Roe v. Wade. So I want to know your thoughts about women's rights to choose as it relates to this election and women in general, specifically Black women.
I mean, I'm gonna let your the other guest. I'm sorry, I can't see her name on the screen. What's her name?
No, you can go ahead. I
You,
just had a whole diatribe. Go ahead. I'm very interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to quickly you mentioned the Small Business Administration, and one of the major problems.
We're pivoting. Okay, we're going back. Okay.
No, I just need to respond to that.
I just want to make sure.
No, you gave a whole diatribe to your point about the Small Business Administration and how it's a real champion for Black people. And the number one thing Black people lack as it relates to entrepreneurship is capital, which the Small Business Administration is supposed to provide. And when I first got here, I couldn't believe, Brother Rashad and Brother Troy, how the Small Business Administration was funded at like $2 million while we were sending $3.8 billion overseas to support a country that is one of the most fiscally responsible and financially wealthy in the world. So we're not even funding the Small Business Administration at the level we need to. So I just want to make that point. In terms of Roe v. Wade, the bottom line is it's not on the federal government to tell a woman what to do with her body. That choice is between a woman and her doctor, period. All this shit that, Trump talking about, full-term abortions, that's like assassinating a baby. That's crazy, right? What's lost in that is the issue of maternal mortality or maternal morbidity and infant mortality that continues to plague the entire nation and continues to plague Black women disproportionately. We're not talking about healthcare as from a preventative perspective and the institutional racism system that persists in healthcare. We're not talking about that because we're talking about this issue of abortion, and then Trump says, wild stuff. And so, again, women could do whatever they want to do with their body. That's not on the federal government to choose. We should support it through the healthcare system. Trump, is on the complete other side of that. Conservatives are as well. And it's just a dangerous precedent, not just for Roe v. Wade, but for the issue of civil rights that we have fought for. The Voting Rights Act, Roe v. Wade, affirmative action, and someone like Trump appointing Supreme Court justices who are then taking that away. So now it's like we're starting at square zero for things we fought for and people have died for during the civil rights movement. So it's all about, are we continuing to evolve as a country towards a liberal democracy and true freedom for everyone? Or are we just going to allow conservative, evangelical Zionists to control what we do and how we think and how we behave?
I guess this is my turn to respond.
Yeah, the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
There's so much to say and there's so much to unpack here. As a Black woman who has had a child, what I'm not going to do is downplay infant and maternal mortality rates. It's a very serious issue and a very serious problem. But I'm also never going to tell a woman that she should eradicate the life inside of her, specifically a Black woman. I don't believe
it's their choice, though.
And I let you finish. I sat here so quietly.
It's their choice. I'm not telling
very demure.
I just want to be very clear.
Hold on. I was very demure and very cutesy. And I
did you just use the word demure?
Demure.
Very demure.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify.
Appreciate
I allowed for him to speak. So now allow for me to give my thoughts. I'm not going to ever advocate for a Black woman to eradicate the life inside of her. Now, I am someone who is very much pro-life. And I do believe that it is within the Black community, it is within our nature to be pro-life. my ancestors, my family came over here and were imported on ships with chains made to work in the fields. I am here because they chose life. So, enduring rape, enduring slavery, and all of the things that my ancestors had to go through, they consistently still chose to have their children, which is why we're able to be here today. And so, what I'm not going to do is have and tell Black women that whatever the circumstances of their life are right now, that the life growing inside of them does not matter. I am someone who was born drug addicted with alcohol in her system. My mother was told to abort me, and she chose to check into rehab to have me. And I'm here on this platform tonight in front of all of these people because she chose life. But what I think that Republicans need to do is shift from being pro-life into pro-livelihood. And being pro-livelihood is, what is the life of that child going to be when it's here? What resources do we have to support that mother? How are we supporting adoption? I'm someone who's adopted. How are we supporting adoption? How are we making it easy for these women to take care of these children that we want them to have? And I think that that's where policy and funds need to flow and go. But telling Black women that they need to eradicate the lives inside of them, I don't think that that's true. And I also think that we should not be using abortion as an answer to some problems, which are the fact that we are having casual sex and we're deciding to have casual sex, and there are repercussions for every action. There's a reaction. So there is a choice to lay down with that man. There's a choice to have unprotected sex with that man. There's a choice not to use plan B, and then there's a choice to terminate. And so if we're not helping women to make better decisions before they get to the choice to terminate, if they know that they are barely surviving themselves and are looking for some type of relief, it's not having an abortion. And I don't think that we should be utilizing that as a method for poor decision-making skills. And I understand in cases of rape, in cases of incest, in cases of life of the mother, as Trump said tonight, but utilizing it as some type of tool and saying that, well, it's your right that you can kill the life inside of you. I just don't believe in that. And I don't believe that that's something that we should be doing. But because it went from the Dobbs decision back into the state's hands, what people can do is decide who you're electing on a state level that makes these decisions for your state. So nothing happened after Dobbs was overturned in California. All of the laws stayed the same. You want to know why? Because the people in California placed people in office to purport the laws that they wanted to see. If you don't like the abortion laws in your state, then you need to get active on your local level and start voting in these state house elections so that you can change the policies on a state level. And those elections are usually every 4 years or every 2 years.
So let's bring up Congressman Bowman. We thank you for your time. We're going to sub you out. We're going to sub you out on this.
I think he's trying to talk. Let's bring him up. Go ahead, man.
One quick 30 seconds. And thank you for everything you just said. And I agree. It needs to be a continuing conversation, particularly in the Black community in particular. Absolutely. But when you talk about livelihood, I agree with that as well. But understand from my experience, and I think from evidence, Republicans don't care about our livelihood, man. They haven't shown consistent engagement and caring about Black women in this country, women in this country, the Department of Education, which is critical, funding the Small Business Administration, or reparations, or any of that. They don't care about livelihood. They care about rhetoric and sensationalism and their own power, particularly continuing white supremacy through tax breaks for the wealthiest Americans. And so, but the other stuff that you were talking about continued conversations about what's happening in our communities that leads to poor decisions, I'm with you on that 100%. Let's continue to talk about that